Welcome back, Legends. It's Lady here, and today we're counting down the top 10 mistakes that every hunter makes in Call of the Wild. Whether you're brand new or a seasoned hunter, chances are that you've made a few of these. Let me know in the comments what the biggest mistake that you've ever made in Call of the Wild is, and let's dive right into it. Starting off at number 10, using the wrong ammo for the job. We've all been there, pulling the trigger on a huge moose with a rifle meant for whitetail. You are going to do a lot of tracking, and depending on the weapon, you may or may not get full score. And if that moose was a diamond, it would then be a gold, and that is not what you want to happen. Know your weapon classes and match your ammo to the animal. Otherwise, you're looking at poor hits, long tracking, and botched trophies. Now, there is only one time that I deliberately use the wrong ammo for the job, and that is when I am doing a Great One grind. I do use the 300 to grind because the animals that I'm shooting don't matter. I just want to respawn from them, and that's it. I do have a different weapon for trophies that uses the right ammo for the job so that I do get full score. That is the only exception to this rule. At number 9, the classic rookie move, sprinting like it's a marathon. Running scares off animals faster than you think. Walk, crouch, or even go prone when you're near animals. Slow and steady definitely wins the trophy. Now, that is not to say that you should never run in the game. I actually do a lot of running in the game. If you don't run, you're never going to get from point A to point B. So when I am hunting drink zones, I will run from lake to lake. I will stop at about 190 to 200 meters away from the edge of the lake that I plan to be hunting at. At that point, I will stop running and I will start to walk and spot absolutely everywhere around me. Continue walking, I would say, until you get to about 120 meters and then start to crouch. Better to be careful than to spook what is around you, and you never know when you are going to run into a diamond or a rare. So when you are around water sources, definitely don't run in. Take your time, and you will be glad that you did. Mistake number 8 is one even experienced players make: ignoring the wind direction. If your scent blows towards an animal, say goodbye to your perfect shot. Always check your HUD. The wind indicator is there for a reason. You want the wind to be blowing into your face, not towards the animal. Now, there is scent eliminator. I'm not 100% sure how well it works. I don't have a lot of faith in it, to be very honest. You really do have to pay attention to that wind, and the wind is going to affect different animals differently. The higher the level of artificial intelligence, the more the wind is going to affect that animal. So, for example, diamonds have a higher artificial intelligence than, say, a level 2 buck, so they will spook before the other smaller bucks will spook, and a great one will spook even faster than a diamond will. That's basically how the artificial intelligence works in the game, but the wind blowing towards any animal is always a bad thing, so pay attention to your wind. Mistake number 7, forgetting to zero your rifle. Now, we've all definitely done this, but if you're missing easy shots, this might be why. Switch between 75, 150, and 300 meters zeroing depending on your range and what weapon you're using, and make every shot count. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how zeroing works. So in order to zero any of your weapons, you do have to have the zeroing perk, and you will find it under rifle perks. Here it is right here. And it is a perk that needs to be activated in order for it to work. So here it reads, zeroing unlocks the ability to switch between different zero distances in addition to the default medium range zero on any weapon that supports it. So at level 1, this unlocks the short range zero, and at level 2 unlocks the long range zero. So once you do have 2 points in the zeroing perk, now what's going to happen is it's going to have a little button right here for you to activate the perk. It's not there because I have already activated it. So I don't have any other perks that need to be activated, so I just have it on all the time. But you can only actually have one activated perk running at a time if you do have more than one selected. So once it's activated, this is the Arzina 300. So the bottom zeroing distance is 75 meters, the mid-range zeroing distance is 150 meters, and the long-range zeroing distance is 300 meters. Now, when you don't have the zeroing perk, you will be automatically zeroed to mid-range. So for the Arzina, I would be automatically zeroed to 150 meters. So the question is, what does that mean? Okay, so we're going to take a shot on one of these whitetail using zeroing. So whenever I am going to shoot an animal, first thing I do is spot the animal. Whenever you spot an animal and open up the map, the last animal spotted will leave a green circle on the map. Then I put my pointer on the green circle and put a waypoint down. That way I know exactly how far that animal is away from me, no matter where I go to. So then, basically, I like to be as close to 150 meters or as close to the zeroing distance as possible. So when I am 0 to 150 meters, what that means is that when I am shooting an animal that is exactly 150 meters away, the bullet is going to hit exactly where the crosshairs are. If I am taking a shot 0 to 150 meters, but I am 225 meters away, that means the bullet is actually going to shoot lower than where the crosshairs are because you are not perfectly zeroed. So in which case, I would then shoot just a tiny bit higher. But to make it a no-brainer, you just get to exactly 150 meters or exactly 75 meters or exactly 300 meters. Make sure that you have your zeroing correctly selected. Might as well use the correct weapon. This is the Hansen 30-06. Took the shot. We got the whitetail and he went splat. Okay, so we got a left long shot. We did blow through the scapula. We had quite an angle there, but that is exactly where we aim. Now I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you do the same thing, but from 300 meters. Okay, so now I am 300 meters away from this buck. Now, if I did not have zeroing, I would be automatically 0 to 150 meters. So let me show you what happens when I try and take a shot from 300 meters without zeroing or 0 to the mid-range. So I'm going to aim where I would normally aim for a lung shot. Lift your noggin, dude. I took the shot, but he's not going down. We did not get a vital. I hope he dies. I want to see where it hit. Okay, good news. The whitetail did kick it. Here it is. And that, we're lucky that we got that kill or even hit this whitetail at all. So I aimed right about there, but without zeroing, this is where you are going to hit when you aim for a perfect long shot without being zeroed to 300 meters. So definitely make sure that you are, number one, using the zeroing perk, and number two, that you are correctly zeroed when taking every shot. At number 6, not hunting drink zones. Most animals in the game drink, but not all, but most. And finding animals when they are drinking is absolutely the easiest way to find animals and to find trophies, because finding water on the map is easy. It's way easier than finding feed zones or rest zones because there's no indicators on the map to show you where to look, but there definitely is for drink zones. And hunting drink zones is the fastest way to find animals. You want to spot every single animal in the zone to make sure you're not going to miss out on any trophies, and every animal that's around, not just in the zone, but all around you. There definitely could be a diamond or a rare of a different species around, and you definitely don't want to miss out on it. But this is why we grind drink zones during Great One grinds. It's way easier and faster to find your zones. You could just as easily, well, not as easily, but you could set up on feeder rest zones. You're going to have the same amount of them, but it's going to be way harder to find. That is why we hunt drink zones. Coming in at number 5, hunting when there's nothing around. Every species has a specific schedule. Hunt them when they're in their need zones. So their feed zone, their drink zone, or their rest zone. Otherwise, you're just on a scenic hike. And seriously, there are no truer words, and some maps are way worse for this than others. And if you're a new player, you're likely hunting on one of those maps right now. So if you're not sure when everything drinks, I would love to have you join my Discord. I will leave the link on the screen and in the description below. If you come in here to references COTW, top channel is the species info channel. So in here, we have an info sheet for every map in the game. So say you want to hunt in a ski ridge and you're not sure what time to hunt for mule deer. Open up the info sheet, go over to mule deer, and they drink from 15 to 1800. There's a wealth of information in here that will definitely help you in your gameplay. You will find their diamond trophy rating, max level, their class, their max weight in pounds and kilograms, all of their zone times, their collars, their common and rare fur types, and their great one fur types. There's just everything here. Everything you need to know are on these sheets. And you can just simply come in here and look up a drink time. And then if you're not sure where to hunt them, come down here to Lady's Hotspot Maps. So for mule deer in a ski ridge, click on ski ridge and just scroll through until you find the right map. And there it is. So then you want to hit every water source as indicated on the map. Those are the only places that you can find mule deer in a ski ridge. Okay, so we are here in Layton Lakes, which is one of the 2 base game maps. So if you're a new player, there's a good chance you are hunting quite a bit here in Layton Lakes. But the thing is, with Layton, if you are not hunting during a specific drink time using the hotspot maps, there's a good chance that you're running around the map and this is what you're seeing. Absolutely nothing. It's a scenic tour. Literally, you will run into almost nothing. Now, right now, it is the very end of whitetail drink time. So if I want to see animals here in Layton, I need to go to the left half of the map. You'll see that on this whitetail hotspot map from my Discord. So if you want to find whitetail, hit these hotspots during their drink time. So I would then go back a couple hours because there's a good chance they've already left their zones and you will find animals. Let's try it. Now, a lot of the newer DLC maps, you will run into a lot more animals without hunting drink zones. They have started to put feed zones closer to the water, so you will run into them while hunting drink zones. So the newer maps are not as barren as Layton Lakes is. Okay, so I changed the time back to 11:23 and we have whitetail here. So by knowing where to look and setting to the correct time is so important in this game. That will definitely help you to find the animals that you're looking for. It is so important that you set it to the correct time before going out and looking for a specific species. You'll be way more likely to find them. Mistake number 4 is all about bad planning, not using your tents and tripods strategically. Okay, so when you're placing tents and tripods, it's very important the distance at which you drop your tent from the zone that you are hunting. So I have put a waypoint on my zone. You want to be dropping your tent at about 230 to 250 meters away from the drink zone. If you drop your tent any closer than 230 meters, some of the time when you come into your tent, the animals will spook from their zone. Now, the spook distance for any tent is 180 meters, but animals can be within 50 meters in any direction of their zone. So here's their zone, but they could be drinking right here. So I would definitely spook them if my tent were closer than 230 meters. Now, as far as tripod placement goes, you want to drop your tripod 175 to 200 meters away from the zone. The reason you want to do that is so that you are able to run right into the tripod without slowing down and start shooting them without spooking them. This one's a little bit closer, but even at 160 meters, the animals are not going to spook. It is a good idea if you are going to be using a collar to have your tripod even closer than 200 meters because most collars have a max distance of 200 meters. The grunt collar is one of the only collars that has a further range. But proper tent and tripod placement is definitely something that you don't want to mess up or it will definitely greatly impact your gameplay. Mistake number 3 is hunting without using a hunting structure. Now, this is really important, especially when you are doing a grind. If you're only shooting 1 or 2 animals, it's really not necessary. But if you're going to be shooting multiple animals, you definitely want to be using a hunting structure. And when I say hunting structure, what I mean is either a tripod, a tree stand, a duck blind, or even the hunting structures that come on the map. They will all give you reduced hunting pressure. Now, what you want to avoid is blowing out your zone. So this is triple hunting pressure. That is the most hunting pressure any zone can withstand and stay intact. Once I make that 4th kill without being in a hunting structure, this zone is going to delete and it is going to show up somewhere else on the map. And I will have to re-find it if I would like to continue grinding this zone. So I'm going to shoot this moose. I am not in the tripod. And lights are out. And look at that. All of those zones are now gone. And that is definitely a huge mistake. Now, basically how the game works is whenever you shoot 3 animals from any zone, that is totally fine. That is the most that you can kill from any zone. Once you do that 4th kill, the zone is going to delete and it is going to go somewhere else on the map. When you hunt from a hunting structure, you can then shoot 15 animals, and the 16th kill will then delete the zone. And no one's going to be shooting 16 animals from any zone, so your zones are protected. So make sure to not blow out your zones. Use a hunting structure. Very important. Mistake number 2 is not knowing how to identify a diamond potential animal. By not knowing how to do this, you definitely could be missing out on lots of different diamonds. Okay, so when you're spotting an animal and you want to know whether or not it could be a diamond, this is how you can figure it out. First thing you need to know is the diamond trophy rating for that animal. And if you don't know what that is, you can shoot one of the animals and it will tell you in the scorecard, or you can just check on the info sheets in my Discord. So diamond for whitetail is 255.09. So if that number falls within the estimate, it could be a diamond. Doesn't mean it will be, but it could be, and that is definitely an animal you want to shoot and find out. So if this whitetail had an estimate of 250 to 280, because 255 falls within the estimate, that would be a possible diamond. So that would be a diamond potential animal. Okay, so whenever you see an estimate where the bottom number is above the diamond trophy rating, that would be a guaranteed diamond. That means this whitetail will score a minimum of 260. Diamond is 255, so unless you don't pass the harvest check, you will have yourself a diamond whitetail. And at number 1, the biggest mistake, giving up. Missed the shot, animal fled, great one is taking forever to spawn. Don't quit, crack the blood, check the map, and finish the hunt. If you need a break, that's totally okay. Take a break, go hunt something else, go play something else, but come back and finish whatever it was you were doing later. I understand that grinds can be very frustrating. I have been there. But taking a break from a grind is not going to hurt your grind, but it is going to help your mental state. This is a game, it is supposed to be fun, so if you're not having fun, take a break and come back and finish your grind later. I've had many times I wanted to quit a grind, but when you quit a grind, every minute of effort that you put into that grind has been wasted. It was all for nothing. One thing I have learned while playing this game is that if you do a grind for a great one, it will spawn. It may take longer than other grinds, but it will eventually spawn. I know when you're doing that grind, it doesn't feel like it, but it will. You wouldn't have started that grind if you didn't want that trophy, so go out and get it. Remember my first mule deer grind? That grind took me over 3,000 kills. People had 5 great ones before I had 1. Was that frustrating? You bet. But if I had given up, I wouldn't have gotten this beautiful diamond albino mule deer and then a great one. And now I have another one. Just never give up. Every legendary hunter knows patience pays off. So there you have it, the top 10 mistakes every hunter makes in the Hunter Call of the Wild. How many of these have you done? Be honest, I've done a few myself. And if you found this video helpful, definitely drop a like, subscribe for more tips, and hit that bell so you never miss a hunt. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to recommend that you click right here for the top 10 tips to turn new grinders into pro grinders.